20 seconds and counting. T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running.
Step off the limb. It's one small step for man. One.
Okay, let me check. All right, I think I got everything. Almost. I'm going to hit the timer on just like I do on the show. And this time will be a little bit different. I'm just going to show a video of mine. Shameless plugging. I don't give a shit. 21 and over, please. That's a requirement here. I'm fulfilling my YouTube obligations. It's a little loud. I don't necessarily want you to do day drinking. This is all build. This isn't really show related. This is me, the pilot Shelby, showing you how I build these things. And we're doing Mini Drak series. This is part 2. And what I thought about doing was I'm going to go show ahead. I'm going to go ahead and show you the gluing process in which I do this. We are skipping one step because there's one thing that I just can't stand. But I'll talk about it when I go live. So stick around. Kick that timer on here just a minute. Basically, I'll show a video, and as the video plays and when it hits the end, I'll be live. My videos are no more than 4 minutes. It's going to be less than a normal countdown timer. So I'm just going to make sure I have everything set and situated, the camera angles right, so I'm not jumping around while we're live, and we can just kind of breeze through this, because it really isn't that long of a process. So, cool? All right. Stand by. Oh, and if you feel like it, and you're so inclined, share it out in the Facebook group, Instagram, anywhere, social medias. Share it out where you think it's relevant, and maybe get more people in here. And Q&A. I'll be watching the chat the whole time. So if you have anything you want to say, mention, comment. You can either send it to me in the social medias or you can send it on the YouTube chat. Cool? All right. Awesome. All right, here's the timer. I got to force myself, otherwise I'm going to sit here and procrastinate, so I'm not going to do that. Here's your timer. Try. Hey, welcome. Hey, we'll call it the Shelby Build Series. I don't know what we're going to call this damn thing. I have no buttons, I have no applause, I have no lights, so because it's not the show. So we only do that when the show. Otherwise, when I do these, it's just me, the pilot, trying to help out the new pilots and anybody else that's doing any of these frames, and doing my best to give to the community the best I can, other than being a silly dumbass and making videos. So what we're doing on this series, as it says, we're building the Mini Drak. And, oh, by the way, if you want to comment, go ahead. And I think it's working. It is working. What's up, Huggy? And, by the way, did you fly better? Oh, hold on. You fly between the wires on purpose. Yes, it did. The problem is it couldn't come out. So when I went through, the prop snagged, and it actually shut down. So it was like, there was nothing I could do. But we tried. I was getting pissed because we were going up and down. I'm like, and that day, that last shot you see in that video, it's like a frustration. Like I've done like 2 other batteries, flown the same line, and just got really frustrated. And I told Rue, I'm like, screw this, I'm doing this. The problem was the lighting. You couldn't see. It's great for GoPro footage, but for the pilot, it was really horrible. Like you couldn't see the lines that well, so you could only see like 10 feet maybe in front of you as you're flying, max. So it made it very difficult, and I got frustrated. And then after a while, towards that last flight, that was the last flight, I said, screw it, I'm doing this, and it's now or never. And there you go. So like I said before, yesterday I crashed quite a bit. I'm sure you do. I know you do, Huggy. So anywho's, I'll show another video tomorrow when I do another part of this whole series. But my point is, these are videos of the Mini Drak, so it just shows you how they fly. Now, I am running a Hero 7 on it now, and I am running Hypersmooth, so on that disclaimer added in there. There will be videos from my past where it's not there, and it's just, a GoPro Session 5 or whatever, and just raw footage. I think Hypersmooth is actually, I used to really dog on it, but for making some good video, it's really worth having for a wing. Because wings inherently shake and wobble, and they just don't fly like a quad. They don't, as far as that completely locked-in feeling. So maybe once in a while you get it, like with a Hardcore 44 or something on a good day, that kind of stuff. But on the norm, they shake. So, and it translates into video, and even though it could be great footage of like a location, it can turn out to be real shit. I get feedback from my viewers, and they're like, yeah, man, I wish it would just smooth out a little bit. And I'm like, purist, no. And I don't know, changed my mind. Because I think it looks better. It just does look better. I mean, I got a gazillion videos of me flying it raw, so going forward, I'm going to do, long story short, Mini Drak for sure, getting the Hero 7 or 8. I'm not going to do a 9. 9's just way too heavy. Already seen the specs and some people with it. 7 does everything I need to do. I don't need all the bells and whistles. I just need to do one thing, just smooth everything out a little bit, and because I'll do the rest. So it really does lend itself well for a wing. So that's the bottom line. All right, so part 2 right here. Yesterday I showed you how cut these in, put the spars in, and then I went home and I thought about it for a little bit before I moved on to something else in life, and decided, you know what, I'm actually going to show you how I do glue these, because I think it is important. Now, we are going to skip a step. I'm going to disclaimer this right away. It is recommended that you use the Gorilla Glue, in which you mix a little bit of water into like a little shot glass, if you will, or something to that size. It's like 4-to-1. Like you just pour it in and you just put a little bit of water, not much. Get it to froth up a little bit, and not even froth up, but get it to mix to a milky, like caramely color, if you will, and then you pour it in. So what I'm going to talk about right now is the main spars. So we were talking yesterday about the outer sleeves, so we're going to move on, right? Cool. Gluing these in are very, very important, and I just hate working with that specific glue that I'm mentioning right now, and this is where you're going to use it. You're going to use it on the wings for the sleeves, and of course the fuselage. Basically, it's the whole sleeve. You just cut it up into 3, and you're laying this in and you want it to be secure as hell. Like you really do. You don't want it to snap off in a crash, maybe in a gentle landing. So the idea is that Gorilla glue will actually fill in all the pores and really attach the shit out of this outer sleeve. I hate this stuff. It ends up being a nightmare for me. So yes, I'm skipping a step. I would encourage you to go ahead and do that. So the method in which to do this gluing, and I've already glued these, so I'm going to show you here in a sec, is to lay down, cut it obviously, cut the spars, and then you want to lay down. I use this now as a backup. Normally I use Starbond, but I don't have any because I ran out. So use Starbond and lay a bead down, and then lay your outer sleeve down in whatever channel you're working on, and let it sit and let it cure for a little bit. And that's just to tack it in place, okay? That's not to hold it in place. It's to get it there because your next step is important. Then the next step is you're going to put that Gorilla Glue, and you're going to pour it in here, and you're going to let it sit overnight. You actually want to also put in the foam. It's a pain in the ass. I don't like doing it that way, but that's the recommended way of doing things. So I'm showing you my way. So I'm just giving you the disclaimer right up front. Okay, this works. I've done it on my other ones. Haven't had an issue. Doesn't mean it won't. All right. So what I do is I actually put a little more of this glue down. Okay, this CA super glue stuff down. Okay, more than just a bead. I put a little bit more down, and I get it to sit down there, and I'm anchoring it even more. But then I go back and I use the E6000. Okay, and I layer that in there, and let's see if I can hold over my other camera. See if I got it. Yeah. I try to get this angled right, but I don't think it's going to cooperate. But anyways, move the mic over here. So good. Lighting's okay. You can see that sheen, that nice shine going on down the spar right here, right? That's the E6000 that I've laid. So what I've done, and I've taken it and I've laid a bead along this side of the channel, and then I've laid a bead on the other side. Nice long nails, right? Need to paint them, my wife says, or cut the damn things. So it's on each side, and then what will happen is E6000 will spread out. It just kind of falls into place, and it will fall everywhere, and it works. It works great. It's going to lighten it because I'm not using all that other Gorilla Glue, but go the other route to get these really anchored in. Anyways, it's a personal thing. So I'm going to go ahead and glue, I don't think I did the back one right here, so I'm going to try to do it. Does this require tape? I think this is a situation where I need damn tape. Alright. Had to pull out the damn red tape for this. Tried to do it on the chair and it didn't work either. Hopefully it works on the camera. Alright. So I'm going to sit here and just put some glue in there. Okay? Put some of this in there. E6000. Now I'm sure going to get comments. I'm sure going to get people saying, what the fuck are you doing? 21 and over. It's not the way you do that. It doesn't matter. As long as it's glued in. Now, if you really want to be secure, then you do the Gorilla Glue method. All right. Glue tends to ooze out pretty easy. Everywhere around here is the shop. So we got glue and shit all over the place. All right, so it's going to spread pretty quick. It doesn't take long at all. Disky was the right word? Okay, that's the right word. But anyways, moves around quite a bit, quite easy. It's, if you never used E6000, the key is this: you got to let it sit overnight. It's not something you can sit here and do and then start screwing around with the rest of it. You want it to settle for at least 30 minutes. Let it get a little bit tacky, and then you start jostling around. Because I'm gonna have to lay spars here because I'm getting ready to do spars right here. No longer the outer sleeve. So that's what I do. And then the next step we'll get to it once this is all dry. But for right now, that's all we do. Set it aside. And I'm going to try to show you. See that layer? It goes all the way down the channel. And it's spread out nice and evenly. That's what you want. There you go. That's a good one. Oh, it had it. And it's gone away. But anyways, I think you get the idea. Sure it doesn't all channel down one way. Throughout the process, I'm also making sure I have my spars. And I'm making sure that these things aren't like getting glue in them. There's a way to do it. You can put tape, masking tape, or any tape, and just cover them up as you're doing the gluing process, especially if you're going to do that Gorilla Glue method. Especially do that. So once you put all that stuff in there, you need to cover these holes up with some masking tape so that stuff does not get in there. Because if it gets in there, it's a pain in the ass to get it all out. Trust me, I know. No reason why I don't like using that method. But it's recommended. All right, let this one sit and do the same process on the other side. I'm going to show you what I did with the wing. Oh, yeah. So we were talking about yesterday about these little nubs that come in manufacturing. You remember? I was talking about that. Sharp knife. That's all I got to do. Nice and easy. Pop them off, shave them down. Don't get crazy. And a little bit on this side. You guys can see that, yeah? I'm lazy. I'm not even using the workbench. Be careful. All right. Nice. Rub it. Make sure it feels good. It's not disturbing the flow. Which is good. That's what I want. Nice. All right. Here you go. The only thing we haven't done, we're getting ready to do on this one, is we're going to add the spars. And we'll do that here in a little bit. We're going to let it sit in here for a little while. Done the same thing on the front sleeve right here. I've let this one sit for a while. It's nice and tacky. Again, it's got that nice channel. I don't know if it's there, if you can see it. It's kind of hard for me to do this. Kind of. Anyways, we're going to do the same thing here. The only thing is you don't have to go all the way down when you're doing this because the spar's right here. It's inside. You could if you want to be silly about it, but you don't need to. Got my E6000. Remember to pull it apart. When you're squeezing it, pull it apart again because otherwise it's going to ooze all out. So just careful of that. Remember we're in. All right. Moving right along. Make a nice little bead. That's all you got to do. As it comes out, you move it along. You'll learn how to use this shit right here. Hopefully it won't squeeze all out. As long as you do that, it won't. Looks pretty good. So I want the entire outer sleeve coated. I want it to settle in. I want the glue to settle in here and settle on top of the spar and on the sides. It's got to be all the way around uniform. And this is kind of like a pain in the ass a little bit, but it is important. I mean, this is going to take a lot of beating. Yeah, the other one's ready to go. I can actually start putting in the whatchamahoots, the that foam to cover in the channel. And I'm trying to debate what I'm going to do on that. If I'm going to hot glue that bastard in, might hot glue it in there. Just so I have all kinds of adhesive in here. You get crazy with adhesives. We're going to hot glue and super glue and E6000. The only thing we don't have is Starbond, Gorilla Glue, things that are recommended. E6000 is recommended though. And when you're doing the spars, just the regular, so not the sleeves, but the main spars and all that stuff, you do want to use a Starbond adhesive. That's normally what I use. You know, you can use a backup this. get it in there, and then I'll show you how to put the E6000 on. So instantly, it just settles in nice and smooth. It's like glass. It's really nice. And try to make sure that it's completely covered. And if it's not, just add a little bit more glue in there. Boom. Done. Screw it out. Screw it on. Should be good now. Let it sit. And then the last I have to do on this will have to be spar front to back. And then, or actually I have to put in the foam first, and then I can do front to back. And we'll get there. Okay, these little build series are only going to be an hour long each. That's it. I mean, I'm just going to make sure I hit the highlights. All right, this is still settling. Okay, this one hasn't had anything done. So, from the top. All right, so basically, take your outer sleeve, sand it a little bit. Let's get a little rough. It aids in the adhesive adhering process. Take this, a little bit of that. Watch for the fumes. All right, there it is. It's in. This does not have a long. This is very short drying time on this thing, so you got to get it in. Just screwing around. A little excess. Right here, rags from the back. Hey, that'll work. Make sure it's always seated in all the way. Starbond you have, which is nice about Starbond, at least the medium thickness, you'll have some time to deal with it. Like, it's not going to cure like that. It's going to take a little time to cure, but when it cures, it's cured. So this stuff, though, very fast. You got to be ready, so don't screw around. All right, same thing. Little bead. We'll splash this. This is how I've done it before, and I know some people may complain about this way I'm doing it, but as I always say, proof's in the pudding. Frames last a long time. Interesting that it's spinning on me. In there nice and good. You want to let this sit and burn off some of the fumes before you start sealing it all up. It's looking good. Spars on the top. So once this cures, we'll spar the top. And this is why you got to let it sit for a little while, because if you're going to start sparring everything, you know, especially on the one we just finished with the E6000. If you start flipping it over, all that E6000 is still not totally cured yet, so it's going to start moving again. You don't want it to start moving around. You want it to settle, get where it needs to go, finish the process, and then you can move on. Now, I can, and I'm going to go ahead and spar this right here and here. First things first, let's get a new piece of a razor. Dollar General. Now, even though this is still curing right here with the E6000, we're fine because we're working on the top here with it, so we're not going to disturb it that much. Remember what I said before? You got to really watch when you cut into this, especially on the wing tip, because it's so thin. It's the thinnest point of the frame, or the wing, is the wing tip, that you don't cut so deep that when you go cut the other side, you just fillet it open. All right. You see, I have it preset, so I can just stick it in there and be good to go. And these run right along the channel. Nice, they rest, so you don't have to worry about digging too deep. Makes the cut really easy. Because that's all you really need. You just need enough to get the spar inside the foam. You don't have to bury it. Just got to get it in the foam. All right, take another spar. All right, let's see. Like yesterday, take your screwdriver or whatever you're going to use to widen the channel a little bit. Makes the spar placement so much easier. Plus you're knocking off any remaining pieces of the foam that are still kind of stuck together a little bit. And you're popping them loose. I failed to mention that I always do this too. I take the actual spar and rub it in there. And if you've watched any of my other build series, I do the same thing. I do it on RiteWing. I do the exact same thing. Yeah, nice. Go right to the end. Take my snips. Bam. Done. Bury it. Make sure it gets all the way in. Boom. Nice. Settling nice and nice and nice. Now, when you're doing this right here on these wingtips and whatever, anything on the swing, make sure as you're seating these, when you go to permanently seat them, make sure you're checking out the leading edge and make sure you're not getting any kind of distortion, any kind of twist, bending, because sometimes that will happen. So just be mindful of that. Just get super glue on there. So, now if you can tell, it looks like it's out, but it's not out. It's in there. So that's actually buried right where I want it to be. So it looks good. I'm going to pop it back out. You can especially tell right here, the foam is, I might be able to, right there. You see how it is in that by my finger, the long nail. See how that foam's starting to come over the top again of the spar that's down? That's what you're looking for. These are out a little bit. I might try burying them. It's an optical illusion. The camera's actually making it look like it's all black right there, and it's not. So, it's good. I'm gonna go ahead and pop them back out. Boom. All right. Got to be ready when you do this process right here. No screwing around. No talking to your friends, your husband, your wife, or whomever. You gotta tell them, hush. Serious operation right now. Get this stuff in and quickly get that spar in. Rub the spar. Sorry, meant to do this too. Fingers are going to get all kinds of tacky. All right, looks good. All right, nice and straight. Yeah, looks good. Right? Yeah? Yeah. Looks good. It's crucial. Got to get that done right. All right, so she's buried in there. It's already starting to cure. So that's what I mean. With this stuff, you don't have a lot of wiggle room. With the Starbond adhesive, you have a lot of wiggle room. So bear that in mind. Same thing. Repeat the process. Now, you can go through it and do all the cutting before you do everything and then start sparring everything. You can do it that way too. I mean, it's not rocket science. Hey, where'd my razor blade go? There it is. First cut, new parts. All right, keep on. Reset. So you want to get all this done before you start laying that glue. So do as much prep work as you can beforehand so that when you go to drop the spar in, you're not fighting with whatever's going on with the foam. Because this foam is a little harder to work with than EPP foam. It's so tight and it's just different. And it's squishy, weird. Anyways, harder to work with. But all in all, building a Mini Drak is not rocket science. It doesn't take fucking forever to do. I find that actually building a spec wing takes longer because you're skipping laminate if you're going to do a Mini Drak. Although I mentioned yesterday you don't get laminate. I did get laminate. Yeah. This is this special PET, whatever it is, foam I think it is, or laminate. I can't remember. This is good stuff right here. This stuff is amazing. Now, talk to Chris. I'll see what he says. If I really should go ahead and laminate this thing, maybe it will work. I don't know. Never done Mini Drak. Don't really want to laminate. We'll see what he says though. Cool. So I got my cut in there. Go ahead and take my screwdriver again, just like last time. And I'm using a fairly small flathead. It was about 1/8 of an inch, maybe a little less. Come on, focus on this, not me. All right. And I kind of pull it in, put it in. I don't go just with the flat, like parallel with the up and down like this. I go sideways. Oh, damn it. I hit the fucking valve. How do I get the tank for 20 miles away? How do I get it for here? Alright. And we'll channel this with the spar. Make sure it's all good. Okay. Like I said, do all your prep work before you go and lay this glue down. Make sure that it sits where you want it. We're gonna get it cut first, and then mess with seating it properly. Dry fit. This is really the longest process of the whole damn build. See, I can't get it right in there, so I'm holding it up. There we go. Nope. Well, God damn it. Come on. Stubborn. Like I said, this foam can be really a pain in the butt sometimes. Come on. There it goes. There it goes. All right. Once again, making sure that the foam is somewhat coming back over the spar. The lighting is just not right for the camera to pick it up, but it's doing it. You're still going to see part of the spar. but not a lot. So I'm just making sure it's sitting right where I want it to be. No regrets. There's no turning around. Like this spar right here, it's stiff now. All right. It's real easy to pop them out. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have done this. I will concede that I messed up on here. Jumped ahead. Put the foam in. Idiot. All right. Put the foam in. I don't know how I want to do this, but let me take a quick 5. Let me think about how I'm going to do this. So, even though I laid this spar right here, and you can get around doing this, which is shave this down on the corner right here. I don't know if I want to do it that way or not. I might just bury these. That's what I need to think. I might just bury these. And the reason why I'm saying that is, what I'm referring to is, I can lay this foam down first, and then I can recut and drop the spar in over top. I mean, I could do that. So I think that's technically what you do. But I'm looking at how far down my spar is right at this intersection right here, right? And it's down there. You know, it's not much above the sleeve, and it's in there. So in other words, I'd be cutting really far down into this. All right, give me 5. Be right back. Let me think about this one real quick. Let's see if I can get a better, go back to the normal countdown. Let's see if I can do that. All right, be back in 5. Hold on. What's up, everybody? A lot on the heavy on the applause there. Huh? Sorry, no buttons, no nothing. It's raining today, so here we go. Hey, this, by the way, this is my starting to be sweatshirt season, and that's my favorite time of the year because I love my sweatshirts. This is my oldest sweatshirt and my favorite sweatshirt besides my orange one, believe it or not. This one goes way back. So, anywho's, when we left, I was talking about the process in which you put the foam inserts into the portions of the outer sleeve bay, if you will. And I'm going to just go ahead and continue to do the way I was doing it. Lay them in, shave them down. We'll get to that in a minute. But I do want to show you how to now do these spars, which are all over the damn frame, which I need to get done. So why not? Because I'm not going to make this forever kind of long-ass show. So we cut these yesterday, and we made sure they fit. Just going to make sure again, and then I'm going to go ahead and glue them in. Good to go. Same thing applies. When you do this, be ready to go. But I didn't say it before, you're sticking that nozzle in there and you're squeezing and seeing it come out just a little bit as you're moving down the channel. Why I didn't cut this one right, but it didn't. It's all right. There we go. Flush. Little Dremel. Bam. Done. There goes my chair again. Oh, it is time for a new chair. There it goes again. So I got to catch it on a certain part of the piston, and it's good. The Christine of chairs. All right, same thing again. Make sure you're in there. Check that. Warping. Missing. Good. Thing. Check. All right, good. Here we go. In. A little bit on the tips, not quite the way I want it. Yeah, you can see it now. Even. Not quite all the way in. But I'm going to err on the side of caution. I need to make sure this is straight. Good. Nice. All right, so with this process right here, just let it, let the fumes kind of go for a little while. And then you're going to come back and you're going to lay a bead at E6000 on here. And I'm going to show you how to do that here in a second. It's not really complicated, but you want to make sure you do it right. So it seats and settles and fills the channel just right. The process on the bottom right here, I'm not going to do that right now because I'm kind of bouncing around just for the sake of this segment of the build. But normally it's do all one side, flip it over, and do all the other side completely, meaning top. Complete top, flip it over, do the complete bottom, do it all in one step. So that's what I recommend. For the sake of the show, just kind of bouncing around. So I think we got the idea about here, about our sleeves, and the methods in which you need to do it, and the method in which I'm doing it. It does work. And now we're just going over the spars, and this application right here applies to the entire frame of all these thin spars that you get with your kit. Look how they have channels cut out for servos. That's kind of cool. It's the little things. All right. Letting it breathe a little bit. It doesn't take that long. It's a 10-second cure. So just want to make sure. All right. So take the E6000. And same as before. I'll go ahead and slide over here. I didn't realize I had my camera on. There we go. Boom. Sorry about that. Same as before. Get bone in there with that nozzle. Takes a little while. It does. It takes a little while to do it. The idea is you're squeezing this out, okay, and you're only going as fast as this flows out of the tube. You're trying to. And what you want to create is a bead that goes over the channel a little bit. It's going to be on this side. It's kind of hard to tell. So get the finger focused. Focus. Well, it's supposed to. Yeah, there's a little bit. So and it's already settling. It settles pretty quick. So basically the channel, it's got a, like this, right? Concave. And you want to make a convex curve from one side of the channel to the other with the glue. And then it will just settle in to all the places. And theoretically, it will just go from being an arch and flattening out. And then just seals up the whole thing, nice and smooth. And that's what you want, because you want this airflow. You know, you don't need these two channels causing all this disruption on your airflow, which makes the Mini Drak fly better. So the more you can smooth this out, the better. I mean, that's why some people put laminate on their stuff, not only to stiffen it, but also to create a better laminar flow, or whatever you want to call it. Just the airflow is better. What's up, Jake? I don't know what anybody's saying. I have to check. Awesome, thank you so much. It would be great to change the camera view slightly down, please. Slightly down. I even got damn tape for all this nonsense. There you go. Yeah, better angle. Good call. Jake Rod with the win. All right, and it literally doesn't take long for it to settle into place, and that's what you want. And check it as you're going along. Looks really, really good, to be honest. Let me take my glasses off. Yeah, look at that. So when it seals, I wish I had a better macro lens, or a camera, if you will. We're looking at this channel right here. It literally is making a nice smooth seam across the gap, sealing it up nice and pretty. Now this is the right way to spar your Mini Drak. To show you an example again. Beehive, which is a member of the cast and the gang, and is the incorrect way. That's why I'm like, the more I keep building this Mini Mad Max 3, the more I'm like, this one that I keep flicking the spar that's been placed on wrong is going to be just the practice frame. But nonetheless, it's good to have some examples. He didn't know where to go. My fault for being RiteWing fanboy sponsored pilot. Should have directed him in the right place to go. But he tried what he did. Well, he could. It still flies great in those videos I've just been putting out from that frame. I'm going to do the same thing up here. So, blue's settled for sure now. Just do the same thing. Squeeze and only move this thing the same amount it's coming out. Whew! You get carpal tunnel syndrome doing that shit. Oh, man, my thumb hurts. Hand hurts. That takes a little while to do, man. That beat in there is nice, though. I took my time on that one. I mean, it is smooth as. I hope it just settles in, right? I put in just what I thought would be the right amount, and I only moved so slowly, squeezing and trying to match how fast it's coming out and going the other way. You'll tell if you're going too fast because it will teardrop as you're moving along. So if the E6000 starts to thin out, then you're going too fast. Slow down and just squeeze a little more and let it push into where you just finished. It'll make sense when you start doing this. And just move slow. It takes a while to get a good bead down, and it is crucial that you get a good bead down in these channels, because otherwise what will happen is what I just showed you is the spirals will just pop out. Just boink, and then you're dealing with that all day. And you don't just settle them in here in the pre-cut trays or slots and just glue them in there. That's not what you do. You need to put them and embed them. That looks good. You can tell when it looks good. It's like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hopefully it settles down a little bit, because I think it might be just a little bit too much. Let's see what happens. No, wait a minute. I think I got a little bit too much over there. All right, so if you get a little excess, here's the trick. Take a Shelby sticker. This is good for at least this. Wipe it off like that, like a putty knife. Scrape it off. The other one I don't have to worry about it. The first one was actually damn near right on the money. I don't have to scrape anything off. You got to keep checking. I'm very particular about this because I like to have perfect airflow. If you wait too long, it gets tacky and you can't do anything. So you got to kind of make your decision right away. Okay. And Shelby sticker, good for more than one thing. Wiping your ass and wiping adhesives. Nothing came off. It's a good sign. Nothing came off. So. And it does not cure that quick. Like, you rub it across, you're gonna get, you're gonna definitely get some glue right there. So I'm right at the cusp of being too late to scrape. So looks good. It really does. It's filled out the channel nice. I don't have to worry about flow now. I think the flow is gonna be nice. I'm not gonna go and touch on it and let it just do its thing, and then come back and check it tomorrow, because I'm going to let this sit overnight. So the process of building a Drak can be done really, really quick if you just use CA glue and go happy horse shit with it, right? Bam, done. You can get it probably done in a couple hours. But if you're going to do it right and you want it to last, you got the longest process is just literally letting stuff cure, and that's fine. You know, good things come to those who wait. So there you go. I showed you how to do this complete from beginning to end. Pre-measure. Or always use, and then recap, and then I'll probably wrap things up. Always use one of these disposable razors that you can get, or whatever you want to call them. At Dollar General, Dollar Tree, they sell them like 3 packs for $1. Perfect. You'll run through the whole thing, the whole pack on one build if you do it right. And you want to. Every cut needs to be a fresh snip off the old blade, okay? Then that's all I do. It's about 1/8 of an inch. Go in there, cut, take a screwdriver there, run it through the channel, widen it up. Then you take your spar, go down the channel again, completely open it up, and then dry fit it all in, cut it to length. Make sure it seats exactly the way you want, which is you want to be able to just see a little bit of it, a little bit of the top of the spar if you've put it in properly. Just a little bit, and the foam will kind of start going over it. That's what you're looking for. Pull it all out, lay your CA glue down, get it in the channel. So you got to put the nozzle down into what you've cut, squeeze and pull, same kind of flow, match the flow that you're squeezing out, okay? And you'll see it kind of come up out of the cut that you made as you move along. It'll come up a little, just a little bit. You don't want it pouring out. You just want a little bit. Quickly get in there, drop your spar in, let it sit, let it breathe, fumes, let them evaporate, then come back and do the E6000. The E6000 is going to take a lot longer to apply the bead of glue. Go ahead and get that nozzle in there, squeeze, and only move as fast as the glue is coming out. If you're going too fast, it will teardrop, and you'll start seeing the spar. And you don't want that, so stop, go back just a little bit, squeeze, and then recontinue that same application. It's like caulking, if you will. Exactly like caulking. And then you want to have a little bit of a dome going from side to side of the actual slot for the spar. That way you know you've done it right. Let it settle. Check. If it's too much, get a Shelby sticker and go ahead and putty knife that off, and you'll be fine, and it'll look like that. And it looks really good. It's really, really nice. So there you go on that. And recap on these one more time. The outer sleeves that you're going to put on the bottom of the entire frame, both wings and fuselage. The method is to, 1, sand these spar outer sleeves, okay, so they grab all the adhesive better, okay. Not a lot, just a little. Just got to rub it with a little whatever you got, and just to scour it, I guess, what do you want to call it? A bead of CA glue, lay your outer sleeves down. That's just for tacking. Go ahead and then apply your Gorilla Glue if you're going to use that method, but make sure if you use that method that you're capping these, all the holes, with some masking tape so that Gorilla Glue does not get in there. Now, that's as far as I'm going on that. If you want to see that, go over to RiteWing's Facebook page or YouTube page, and I know he has a build series on that. You can go there as well. As far as I went, I added a little more CA glue on the outer sleeves, dropped them in, used it a little bit more as an anchor, and then put a bead of E6000 on each side of the channel and let it settle down. And if there was any gaps or anything that I could see of my spar or my outer sleeve, I dropped a little bit more of that E6000 in there and let it settle. I'm going to let this sit overnight. And, I mean, I'm actually going to spar this once I'm done with this feed, but there you go. That's it. That's how you spar a Mini Drak. Not much more to it than that, okay? The only last thing is, when you're done on the bottom, you're going to have to put these foam inserts in, okay? I will do that tomorrow. Once all this glue has cured, I'll get it seated in there, maybe a little later today, actually, and let it cure, because you have to glue this in, too. And then you got to shave it all off. You got to make a nice, good, clean cut. And we'll go over that here in a little bit tomorrow. Cool? Great. Glad you all tuned in, whoever watches this. Appreciate it. If you like what you're seeing, be sure to hit the subscribe button, notification bell for when I drop a new video for flying and not just building. And if you haven't tuned into the Drone Hangar, we've got our own Facebook page, YouTube channel, and you want to reach out to us, it's dronehangarshow@gmail.com. You can reach me on all social medias, Instagram, obviously on YouTube and Facebook. I'm happy to answer your questions. And from one fanboy to another, until next time, remember, go get you some of that. Be nice to each other. Love you. I'm out.